You know that feeling when you have actually taken the time to plan out your day for tomorrow? You've done so realistically. And then you wake up and you realize that there are a whole bunch of meetings that have shown up on your calendar that weren't there yesterday. I don't like that feeling. And I bet you don't either. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about how to avoid having last minute meetings ruin your day.
Welcome to the Do More, Stress Less podcast. I'm your host, Alexis Hasselberger, a time management and productivity coach. In every episode, I give you actionable, practical tips to help you learn to use your time in a way that feels good to you every day. No more hustling, scrambling, or struggling to keep your head above water. So let's dive in, and soon enough, you'll be doing more and stressing less.
There are two types of meetings. Well, actually, there are lots of types of meetings, but today we're going to talk about two: recurring meetings and ad hoc meetings. And they can both wreak havoc on your schedule. But I've talked a lot about recurring meetings. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about ad hoc meetings. The meetings that just seem to pop up on your calendar, steal any free time you've got available, and turn your Swiss cheese calendar into a brick wall calendar. These are often the meetings that cause you to sigh loudly if you're working from home, or to seethe quietly if you're in the office, as soon as you see them show up on your calendar. The meetings where you think, really? We need to talk about this now? Or worse, this entire meeting could have been a one paragraph email. So, what can we do about these meetings? Well, while we can do our best to ensure that we're only scheduling meetings that are absolutely necessary and that really do require a real time conversation, where to actually put those meetings can still be an issue. Enter office hours. Yes, office hours, just like your professors used to have. You know what I'm talking about, right? Your professors had a few hours each week blocked off where they'd be at their desk, ready and willing to answer all of your questions. If you stopped by your professor's office outside of office hours, you might be turned away. They were doing something else, building out the next lecture, writing a book, etc. But if you have lots of ad hoc demands on your time, you can employ the concept of office hours too. And with the technology we have today, it's never been easier. So, how can you adopt this office hours strategy? Well, there are a few methods that you can use that are pretty easy to set up. So, if you're working in an old school office along with all your coworkers, well, you can go super low tech, just like your professors did. And you could post your office hours on your office door or on your desk if you don't have an office, or even in your email signature. But in the likely case that you're remote or hybrid or some of your team is, you can use your calendar for this. Now, if you're using Google Calendar, you can use their appointment slots feature and you can let people book, 15-minute slots on your calendar in a window that you designate. And if you don't know what that is, no worries, just go Google appointment slots and you will get step-by-step instructions for how to set this up. If you're using Calendly or another scheduling tool for scheduling, you can also protect a couple of hours in the week for office hours and let people book specific slots during this time. So there are a lot of ways to do this in a pretty automated way. When you use these features, you can contain the office hours to these preordained times that work for you. Now, will you ever need to make an exception? Yeah, of course, probably. But is that a reason not to try? Nope. My take: if there's a method that you can use to make your calendar even slightly better, give it a try, even if it doesn't work all the time. Now, are there other considerations here? Well, yes, of course. Now, if you work in a place with a hierarchical management structure, you probably don't want to force your manager or any of the other higher ups to use your office hours. They probably will bristle at that. But for your direct reports or your peers, go for it. And if you're thinking, this would never fly at my workplace, well, you know what? You know the culture of your workplace best, and you should do or not do whatever works for you. However, people are often way more open to experimentation than you might imagine. So, what about putting it out there as an experiment? It just might work for you. Before you go, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that enrollment for my group coaching program, Time Well Spent, is going to be opening up really soon. Now, I only open up enrollment twice a year, and the next cohort starts next month. So if you're even slightly interested in learning more, you can join the waitlist right now. The link's in the show notes. And then you'll be the first to know when enrollment opens, and you'll get all the info you need to decide if Time Well Spent is the right next step for you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of the Do More, Stress Less podcast. If you found today's episode helpful, please share it with somebody who could use a little less stress in their life. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're excited to take action or you need a little extra support, check out the free resources available on my website or schedule a free consultation call with me. You can do both of these at alexishasselberger.com. See you next time.